Hello. I urge the people of Umbria to resist the building of an incinerator in your beautiful region. Not only are incinerators a huge waste of taxpayers' money, but they're a huge waste of time. 25 years from now, you will have the same problem of not moving towards sustainability. Today, there are far better alternatives to incineration, which create more jobs, are better for the local economy, are safer, better for the people's health, better for your children and your grandchildren, and better for the planet because they move in a sustainable direction. Incineration then is not only dangerous, but it is a crime against the future. We are spending a huge amount of money destroying resources, finite resources, that we should be sharing with the future. And of course, incineration does not get rid of landfills. For every 3 to 4 tons of trash that you burn, you get 1 ton of ash. And that has the fly ash is extremely toxic. The bottom ash is toxic as well. So you still need landfills. You don't get rid of landfills with incinerators. And at the same time, they also put into the air some very toxic materials. And the concern today is the issue of nanoparticles. We know that when you have high temperature combustion, whether you're talking about vehicles, whether you're talking about power stations, oil or coal-fired power stations, or you're talking about incinerators, they produce nanoparticles. These are very tiny particles, and we're just beginning to understand the danger of these particles. They're so tiny, they can go deep down into the lungs, they cross the lung membranes, into the bloodstream, and into every tissue. And unfortunately, engineering, it's very difficult to capture the nanoparticles, to prevent them from leaving the stacks of the incinerator. And also, as far as regulations are concerned, they're not even regulated. They're not measured, and they're not regulated. The particulates which come out of an incinerator are either regulated at 10 microns, sometimes at 2.5 microns, but these are like regulating cannonballs when the real problem are like grains of sand, these nanoparticles. So not only is incineration a waste of money, not only is it non-sustainable, it's also a waste of energy, and it does not contribute to global warming like the alternatives. And the alternatives that we're talking about, which we now call zero waste, the zero waste strategy, it's organization and education, not big fancy machines. These are the fancy machines. The zero waste strategy begins with separation into 3 separate or maybe 4 containers. 1 container for the organics. That's the most important, because it's the organics which produce a tremendous odor, it's the organics which produce methane in landfills, and it's the organics which should be going back to the soil, and we are wasting. So get the organics out separately, the kitchen waste, and at certain seasons the yard waste, and get that to the rural areas where it can be composted and go with the farmers, get it back to the soil. The second container, 1 or 2 containers for all the recyclables. Some communities separate the paper, keep that separate from the bottles and the cans. And then finally you have the residuals. And in addition to that, we need reuse and repair centers, we need waste reduction initiatives in town, reusing containers in supermarkets, putting taxes on plastic bags, etc. And the residuals finally go to residual separation and research facility in front of the landfill and integrate with education.
So, thank you so much, Professor Connett. We thank you very much for. Thank you very much for your contribution, for your help.
Okay. The final message to industry: we need community responsibility and industrial responsibility. The final message is, if we can't reuse it, recycle it, or compost it, industry shouldn't be making it. We need industrial responsibility, better industrial design for the 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Grazie.
Thank you very much, Professor.